certainly don't have to remind you in the room that we as Reginians are immensely proud of our athletes, and as a community we support them as they pursue their dreams of excellence. As a community we celebrate their victories, and we feel the sting of their defeats. Tonight we're very pleased to enshrine 7 more into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. We tell their stories tonight, each one as interesting as it is diverse. I encourage you to sit back and enjoy these stories, as each one of them contributes a thread to the very rich tapestry of the legacy of sports in our community. The Regina Sports Hall of Fame is about honoring the past and inspiring the future. And we are tremendously pleased to induct the following into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Our first inductee into the 2013 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Marnie Eistetter, a builder in the sport of synchronized swimming.
So you are going to be inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Yes, well, thank you so much.
Now, you are going to be, your title, you are a builder. Yes. But I understand also that you started out competing as well.
Oh, yes, very long time ago. In the 50s when I was in high school. And actually, they did have some synchronized swimming in the high school. But I actually was one of Sadie Calder and I started synchronized swimming in Saskatchewan. And she was here in Regina. She was from England. And so actually, I actually was one of her swimmers. She coached the first swimmers. We even had some boys in there, some teenage boys in our club too.
And that's not common to have? Mostly women.
Hardly any men in the world are in synchronized swimming.
But you've been a part of the sport now for over 40 years.
47 years as a volunteer.
Wow.
Yeah, since my daughters were involved. I had the 4 daughters, and they all started swimming recreational synchro at the YWCA. And then Penny Mimick, who was their coach, decided she wanted to start up a competitive club again. The Sadie Calder and I had passed away, and there was no competitive swimming anymore for synchro. So then she asked my girls if they'd like to try out. So they were in the competitive club. So that was about 1967. I had started volunteering just before that, because they were about 1967 then. And my daughters were started. 2 of them out of the 4 continued on in competitive then. And so from then on, the very first year, we had a provincial championship in Regina, and they needed scorers because we used to score everything. There was no computers around. And they said, do you know how to score it? I said, no, I don't. So they sat me down with the scoring papers and the pencil and showed me how to score. And from then I was scoring, ended up being scorer, chair, person, and everything until we had the computer chairs come in.
And then you don't have to do it anymore, and then it's easy.
Well, actually, I still fill out time sheets for routines and everything for meets. I still do that at the province for all the meets. I like doing that.
Well, it's a lot of work. Like you said, it's a volunteer.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I went through the whole thing. I actually became a coach, level 1. I coached. I was a club manager 1 year, and I coached. And I was involved on different committees, and then VP Finance, VP Admin, President for 2 different terms for 2 years, and then 2 years again, and past president. I'm still involved. I'm in charge of all the awards, the athlete awards for all the different meets. You know, I get the figures and the ribbons and the medals and the trophies ready, and I'm also chair of our recognition awards committee. So, which was a complete surprise because we are the ones that do the nominations for the different awards that come up, and I had no idea about this one because, of course, my committee, one of the persons on my committee, Kirsten, who is here tonight, and she and along with Kathleen, they did up the nominations, so I didn't know anything about it until I was phoned.
How could you be surprised?
I was very surprised. I didn't have a clue.
And you were inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame
in 2009. Yes.
Oh, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, I was very honored for that too. Very honored. And I actually helped down there at Sports Hall of Fame as a volunteer. I go in there and help with different events and help them with the curator, with the exhibits when I can, you know. So I do that too.
Congratulations.
Yes, well, thank you.
You're going to be recognized here in Regina. So.
Yeah, yes, and I'm with Regina, and I'm really excited about that because I I moved here with my parents when I was 2 years old, so I am a Regina girl.
That's right.
Lived up in the north end, Source Central End, half a block from Scott Collegiate, and that's when I started swimming with synchro, you know, when I was in high school. Yeah.
Aw, well, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.
Marnie was a high school competitor at Scott Collegiate, served as a chief scorer for 40 years, a level 1 coach who developed programs for at-risk youth. She served on the Synchronized Swimming Saskatchewan board from 1973 through to 2003 with 2 stints as president. She served as the vice president of sport development and communications, oversaw the annual awards banquet, chaired nominations and recognition committee meetings, chaired the sport legacy committee, and sits on the grassroots committee. She has chaired committees for the 1983 and 2001 national championships, has given numerous merit awards over her career. She was inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame in 2008. Marnie has been the operations chair for synchronized swimming for 4 years, and in 2010 was richly rewarded by receiving the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal awarded by the Canadian Olympic Committee for volunteering at all levels of synchronized swimming. Marnie was the only Saskatchewan recipient coming from the synchronized swimming world here in our province. Marnie's daughters competed and also coached the sport as well. It is with pleasure and pride that we introduce Marnie Eistetter, a builder in synchronized swimming, into the 2013 Regina Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you so much. This is a very exciting night for me, my family, and I'm sure for our fellow inductees. I want to thank the Regina Sports Hall of Fame for selecting me for the 11th induction. I'm really excited about this. Being a Reginan, I was born in Moose Jaw, moved with my parents when I was 2 years old to Regina, so I consider myself a Regina through and through. And I've had a wonderful journey also through synchronized swimming. For the past 47 years, I've volunteered. And before that, when I participated in synchronized swimming, learned about it when I was in high school, and I'm not going to tell you what year that was. Synchronized swimming is a sport that can be taken up usually by girls and women. We do have a few men in the sport in the world, but not very many. But it is a lifelong sport, and you can start at it even when we have 3 and 4 year olds learning a synchro a bit, and then they go up to, we have synchro crows in Masters in Saskatoon, and in Regina we have Masters swimming, and they are in their 80s and still competing. So, or just swimming recreational. It's a wonderful sport. It has been a wonderful sport in my family. When I swam myself, and then of course I retired and got married, and I had 4 daughters. And when they were swimming at the Y, and then Penny Merrick asked me, they were swimming recreational swimming, and she wanted to start up competitive swimming, synchro, and asked me if my girls would be interested. So 3 of them started out. 1 of them had to quit because of medical reasons. But 2 of my daughters are here tonight that swam synchro, Tracy and Darcy. And then even then when my granddaughters came along, 3 of my granddaughters are here, and they also took recreational synchro, Michelle, Sarah, and Kate. So we're continuing on. I did have, then I started volunteering in about, this is my 47th year volunteering with synchro, and I have thoroughly loved it. The camaraderie and the friends, lifelong friends you make, and serving on the different committees, and I still help prepare score sheets for meets, and I love to go to the meets, and I'm chair of the recognition committee, an awards committee, although this was a complete surprise to me. Kirsten Bruff was on my committee, and Kathleen were the ones that made up the nomination. I had no idea that it was going to happen. And it's been a wonderful journey for me. I also like to get to the pool, watch the girls swim, the young girls, the older girls. We've had wonderful, from Regina swimmers, we had Nicole Cargill, who was on the Olympic team for when the Olympics were held in Greece. And her sister Lindsay swam in nationals. We've had we've had coaches too. So we've had great success from a small, really small pool of swimmers in Saskatchewan. But it has really improved. I have to tell you one thing. Yes, and it's really changed. The first job I took on as a volunteer on the provincial board, they asked me if I would be the treasurer. And I said, okay, I guess I can do that. So I was handed a checkbook, a cash box, and a little ledger for in and out items, and that's what I had as treasurer and in charge of finance for synchronized swimming. So that was like 45 years ago. Well, it's changed a lot more since then. We have wonderful funding from various places, especially SaskSport, and we've had such an increase in numbers and wonderful swimmers, coaches, judges coming out of our province, actually judging internationally and at the Olympics. We've had big success, but the main thing is we're a wonderful Synchro family, and we have, I believe, 10 competitive clubs now in Saskatchewan, and I just love it. So thank you so much for nominating me, Synchro Saskatchewan. Thank you for electing me to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. I will always cherish this memory. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the 2013 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Dick White, a builder in multisports.
You're going to be inducted into the 2013 Sports Hall of Fame for Regina.
Yes, very cool.
That's it. Cool. That's it. How do you really feel?
Well, you know, it's an amazing honor because I've been at this event for 10 or 11 years. I was on the board that really started the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, so I'm very familiar with the people that have been inducted, and to be included in that group of people is really an amazing honor.
I was just talking with Marlene actually kind of about why Regina started its own awards ceremony. How do you feel about that with Saskatchewan, Regina, and recognizing on more of a local structure?
Well, when we started it, we thought it was very important to ensure that we honored some of the people in Regina that had a significant role in developing sport in this community. And it's something that other communities have done as well, and I think it's been a great success. I look at how this event has grown to where we are now. It's really quite spectacular.
And congratulations on your nomination. Are you surprised?
Well, of course I am. I mean, you don't start being involved in sport or do anything in sport and think you're going to end up in a Hall of Fame. You do it because it's fun, and it's a great bunch of people to be involved with, and so to have this happen is really quite incredible.
You're going to be a part of history now, so congrats.
Well, thank you very much. That's nice of you.
Dick has served as the athletic director at the University of Regina since 1995 and helped expand the school's varsity program to 16 sport teams from 6 when he took over. He's been a university administrator since 1981 and has served in various administrative capacities. He was the president of the Great Plains Athletic Conference. He's also served as the president of the Canada West Universities Athletic Association and also as the president of the CIS. In addition to serving on numerous committees, Dick also found time to be part of Team Canada's delegation as the chef de mission at the 2005 FISHU Winter Games and served as the Canadian delegate for FISHU's General Assembly. Dick was also a presenter at the 2008 International Council of Sports Science and Physical Education Conference, and in 2011 was at the European Athlete Student Conference. He finds time to maintain his status as an active basketball official, at least he did from 1975 to 1990, working 7 national championships and serving as the president of city and provincial associations. He's coached various sports over his time and has set up programs to develop and evaluate basketball officials. Also served as an original board member responsible for the establishment of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. So it all comes full circle for Dick. I can tell you that he is a passionate advocate for university sports and amateur sport in Canada. And you will not find a more staunch cheerleader for the University of Regina Rams and Cougars programs than the inductee into the 2013 Regina Sport Hall of Fame, Dick White.
Well, thank you, everyone. It's really quite incredible, having been at the very first Regina Sports Hall of Fame induction, to be at this one now and see what an amazing event it is and what a great evening. Probably the first thing I need to do is obviously thank the Regina Sports Hall of Fame board for this honor, but for all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes to create this event for all of us as inductees. Organizing these kind of things myself, I understand what goes on, and I really do appreciate the work that's gone on to honor us tonight. I also need to congratulate my fellow inductees. I'm very proud to be included in this outstanding group of sport leaders and athletes. Actually, the last month has been quite a whirlwind. It's been really quite surprising how many people have talked to me, congratulated me. Ever since it was announced. It's not something I'm necessarily used to, but it's been very cool. My daughter even tells me I had 47 likes on Instagram, which I think is a very big deal. I've got to tell you one true story. Kind of around the announcement. I was sitting at home on a Sunday, and I get 2 messages on my cell phone from Tom Shepard. Tom's bugging me. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why Tom is calling me. I didn't even know Tom had my cell phone number. I think he's probably desperate to sell a lottery ticket or something, but eventually I called Tom back. So he says hello and how you doing, and tells me that the university's nomination of Jason Claremont has been accepted, and tells me that in fact the nomination for Jason Claremont was a no-brainer. I told him how pleased I was. I'm always really pleased when one of our former university athletes gets a special honor. He then went on to say, and oh yeah, Tom Chase from the university nominated you and you're in. So immediately I'm pleased, but I'm also thinking, was there a split vote on the committee? Was there some sort of lengthy debate? But regardless, it is a great honor, and I'm humbled and happy to be included. This type of recognition, it doesn't happen without a great deal of support, and I need to take a moment to thank those who share this award with me, family and friends and colleagues. If I don't mention you, I apologize. If I don't mention you tonight, it is really important that all of you are here and means a great deal to me. My first and most important thank you, of course, is to my family. The nature of our work in sport means that we're going to work evenings and weekends. Quite simply, if your family doesn't understand and doesn't support you, you got to find another line of work. It's just that simple. My daughters Kristen and Janelle are here tonight. I must say, as proud as I am of my own accomplishment this evening, I'm even more proud of the amazing young women that they are. I hope you get a chance to meet them. They're really the pride of my life. My wife Maureen, of course, has been here. Her support has been unwavering. And actually tomorrow we celebrate either our 27th or 28th wedding anniversary. Now, you're thinking typical male, he doesn't even know what wedding anniversary it is, but honest, I asked her a couple of weeks ago or days or something. She didn't know either. It's in that range. She did say it's getting to be a really long time. My dad is here tonight. He's really responsible for my love of sport from an early age. Not only did he teach me to hit a curveball when I was in Little League, but more importantly, he really taught me the foundations of hard work, commitment, and the fundamentals of leadership. I got by the family stuff with no tears. It's good. I'm pleased to have many of my university colleagues here this evening. I would not have been able to take on the leadership roles that I've been able to take on and grow as a professional without their incredible support. They are an incredibly loyal, an incredibly committed, and incredibly skillful group. There's 4 folks out there that we put on probably more than 80 events a year. We've put on national championships, and then there's, of course, while those 80 events are going on, there's another 80 or 100 going on with teams off campus. So they do an incredible amount of work, and I would not be here and have those cool trips to Austria and be able to take the leadership roles without the kind of things that they've done for me, and I can't thank them enough. I also share this award with our great athletes and coaches at the U of R. Again, I wouldn't be standing here if we didn't have highly successful teams, and if those coaches were not working every day to produce some of Canada's best student athletes and future leaders, again, I wouldn't be here, and I can't say enough how great it is to work with these people every day. It says something really special about our university, the fact that my nomination came from the President's office. Our athletic program receives absolutely incredible support from our President and the administration. And I'm so flattered that Dr. Timmins is here with us this evening. She's taken the time out of her schedule to be with us. Bayan, thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you do every day. I appreciate your professional leadership. I also appreciate so much your friendship. It's been wonderful. Finally, in the words of that great athlete, Justin Timberlake, although I share this award with many people, it's coming home with me. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Our next inductee into the 2013 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Flo Rolls, athlete in the sport of bowling.
Were you surprised that you were nominated?
Yes, actually I was. I knew that about 8 years ago they had put my name in, but I hadn't heard from anybody, so I thought after a couple of years they don't, they just don't do it. And then Tom Shepard phoned me, and I thought he was calling and asking me if I was going to buy my lotto ticket. So I was very surprised, yes.
Well, you have the title Regina's Best Bowler. That's a pretty good title. You've competed in the world nationals 3 times.
In the worlds once.
Okay.
In the nationals, I don't know how many times.
8.
8. Okay.
8.
Lost count. And the one in Helsinki was on the Canadian team.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, it was really exciting. There was 48 countries, and it was a real experience. We went for 3 weeks. We had a training camp in Holland, and then we had 2 weeks of the tournament in Helsinki.
So, do you come from, is your family really into bowling, or how did you get into something?
I used to bowl 5-pin, and then we moved to the States, and I didn't know Canada was the only country in the world that bowled 5-pin. So the neighbor asked me if I bowled. I met a new neighbor, and I said yes. And she says, "What's your average?" I said, "So I don't know, it's 200 or something." And she says, "Holy cow!" And because in 10-pin the high game is 300 and 5-pin is 450, so I guess she thought that was a pretty good average, which for 10-pin it would have been. So I went to the bowling alley with her, and I looked around. I says, "I don't know how to play this game." So I got a bowling ball and took some lessons, and I fell in love with the game.
And you've done pretty well.
Yeah, it was something that I really enjoyed doing, and actually I did.
And you stuck with it, and that's what happens, right? Like you said, take lessons and work hard enough.
And bowl on a lot of leagues, and my family was very supportive.
Well, congratulations, and
thank you very much.
It's a great honor.
Yes, it is.
Flo began bowling in 1966 and retired in 1999. And from 1976 through to 1996, led the Women's League 17 times with high average, posting a high score of 279, a 3-game series of 689, and a 5-game series of 1,070 points. She represented Saskatchewan at the Canadian 10-Pin Federation National Championships in, inhale, 1981, 1983, 1984, 1986, 1988, 1990, 1992, and 1996. She also competed at the World Cup Nationals in 1980, 1986, and 1989. She made the provincial national classified tournament team in 1995 and was on the Canadian squad for the 1987 World event in Finland. She also competed in Women's International Bowling Congress tournaments throughout the United States from 1983 through 1993, and was an alternate on the Canadian CTF team in 1984, a team member in 1986, and a bronze medalist at the National Classified Competition in 1995. It is with honor and pleasure that we introduce Flo Rolls, athlete in bowling, into the 2013 Regina Sport Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I, first of all, would like to thank the Regina Sports Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me, and to Joe Most for nominating me. And a special thanks to my family for supporting me over the years, and to my husband especially for carting me to the hundreds of tournaments that I went to. And I also would like to thank God for giving me enough talent to do something well that I really, really enjoyed doing. And I bowled in a lot of tournaments, went to a lot of places, and met a lot of wonderful people. And that's something that I'll remember forever, is all the friends that I made and all the fun I had. And I really don't have anything else to say. I just would like to thank again, and thank everyone again, and thank you all for coming, and to congratulate all the other inductees. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee into the 2013 Regina Sport Hall of Fame goes into the team category in the sport of baseball. It is the 1932 through 1936 Regina Nationals. The Regina Nationals existed for only 5 baseball seasons, but in each of those seasons they won the Senior Amateur Championship in our province. With very little fanfare, the team rose from the ashes of the defunct Regina Balmorals to join the 2-year-old South Saskatchewan Baseball League in 1932. Led by 6 straight pitching victories from Swaney Swainson, the Nationals won 12 consecutive playoff games, sweeping the Moose Jaw All-Stars, the Estevan Maple Leafs, the Saskatoon Northern Distributors, and the Alberta champion Nakmeen Athletics to claim their first provincial championship, and subsequently a Prairie title that was awarded only twice. 11 members of the team played a doubleheader against a team of touring major leaguers that featured future Baseball Hall of Famers Lefty Grove, Bill Dickey, Charlie Gehringer, and Heine Manouche. Only Nationals catcher Eric Quist earned a hit against Grove. In 1933, Heck McLeod led the Nationals' playoff charge, pitching in 22 of the team's 24 postseason games, 18 of them as a starter, and all of them complete games, including 3 games in 3 days. Their only playoff loss came in the Prairie Final against a team from Edmonton. In 1934, the Nationals were so dominating that no team from southern Saskatchewan challenged them in the playoffs, and in the provincial final they led the best-of-5 3-0 with 2 games tied when the Saskatoon All-Stars defaulted the rest of the series. The Nationals won the Saskatchewan Crown again in 1935, beating the Neilburg All-Stars 3-1 in the championship series, capped off by a 7-0 3-hit performance engineered by pitcher Tom Raisbeck. Before disbanding, the Nationals claimed their final crown in 1936. They won their final game 13-4, sweeping the series against the Saskatoon Gems. Jack Farquhar was the team's manager for all 5 seasons of their existence, and only 3 players were on every squad: right-handed curveballer Swaney Swainson, outfielder Johnny Stoyand, and Joe Haberman, the team's court jester. First baseman and outfielder Jack Jersey Campbell, who also played football for the Rough Riders, was among the players with the Nationals for 4 seasons. Other 4-season players included right-hander Heck McLeod and utility player Art Savon. During the half-decade of existence, the Nationals roster also included a future Major League pitcher, Alden Lefty Wilkie. The team had a minor roster change season to season as it deployed future Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame inductees Joe Trapp, Brian Forster, Alan Lefty Armstrong, Cliff Hogg, and Harold Horiak, among others. Unfortunately for us tonight, there are no surviving members of the Regina Nationals, so this championship team is being honored posthumously with its induction into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Our Our next inductees into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame are Len Antonini and Kelly Hamilton, who go in together as builders in the sport of football. Nominated and inducted together for their work with Regina Minor football, both men have served executive roles while implementing the system of 12 on, 12 off to ensure that every team gave playing time to all players. After playing and coaching several sports, Antonini joined the board in 1995. Hamilton followed in 2000. By 2013, Regina Minor football had reinstated its nonprofit status, had set up an office for its organizational purposes and storage of equipment, and had become financially accountable, making plans to develop players and properly divide teams while growing in 12 years from 400 players with 110 coaches and managers on 18 teams to an astounding 1,612 players with 341 coaches and managers on 42 teams, teams that also come in from nearby towns and cities. The two men were instrumental in helping get artificial turf onto Liable Field and continuing to make it a top-notch facility with grandstands, scoreboards, media booths, concession stands, and locker rooms. We are very pleased to induct Len Antonini and Kelly Hamilton into the 2013 Regina Sport Hall of Fame, builders in the sport of football.
Congratulations to the fellow inductees, Dick, Flo, Marlene, Jason, the Nationals, and Kelly. I'm honored to join these and the other 66 past inductees of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks to the committee and Mike O'Donnell for nominating me and inducting us into the Hall of Fame. Mike and I go way back. We coached together in the 80s, and I honestly believe that Mike was a huge influence on my football coaching career, and I appreciate it. I think Liable Field is a big part of the present RMF. Thanks to everyone that donated to make it possible. Special thanks to the Drummond family. I honestly believe that Gary's contribution was the catalyst that got the project going. When we were building the second phase, or the bleachers in the press box, we were getting it done, but we were way over budget. I was fortunate enough to go for lunch with Roger Brandfold and Jim Hobson, and when we were done, the Rough Riders got off their wallet and ended up paying to complete that first phase of the bleachers. So we'd like to thank the Saskatchewan Rough Riders for their contribution. Yeah. It's a big wallet, and it's hard for Hoppy to get off of it, though, too. I'd like to say thanks to the current board members who have encouraged and supported our vision for RMF and Liable Field. This has enabled us to build our league and the facility. I'd also like to thank former board members like Hal Wilkie, Dave Gates, Bob Cisco, and of course, Lana Lancaster, or as most of you know her, Lana Mueller. I don't think she's here tonight, is she? Did she show up? I know most of you know Lana, and I got a story about Larry. He's a great friend of mine, her husband. You know, I used to blame Larry for my micromanaging. Years and years ago, I thought he said to me, Lenny, he says, if you want something done, do it yourself. Well, what he actually said to me was, if you want something done, don't get me to do it. If you guys know me, you'll understand that one. Kelly, my friend. We played football together in high school. We were best friends until 2000 when I lied to him and I told him that the RMF president was a figurehead position and there was about 3 or 4 meetings a year. It's been quite a ride. It's been 14 years, and I have to say he's absolutely the best. We've never had any fights, so that kind of proves that we're not a couple. You know, he's probably the only person I could have done this with. You know, and at this time I have to mention the quiet support of his lovely wife, Robin, even through her really tough times. My family, there's a bunch of my brothers and sisters here, but I really want to thank my brother, Rob. Robbie's always been there for me, usually when I need someone to drink with at 8 o'clock in the morning. Luigi Silvano Antonini. He taught me so much. That was my dad and my life mentor. My daughter Amy, Section 28 Rough Rider season ticket holder. She's a true football fan. Can all be summed up in one short story, her tweet for Father's Day this year. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for loving me more than you love football, which is a lot. Campbell, my son, he's a pain in the ass. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, but I've had great joys watching him play, coaching him, and now coaching with him. He has the passion, and I'm expecting great things from him in the future. When I was 8 years old, I was a water boy for the Crusaders. They practiced at 9 Block Garnet. I used to get the water from the corner of Montague and 3rd Avenue from the tap, if some of you guys had lived in the hood. If you remember that? I fell in love with the game. I've been involved ever since. I've played, I coached, I worked for CBC and TSN. I've even officiated, and actually, as Al, look, I was good. Like, I was young. Hey, listen, I was young. I was smart. I knew the rules. I had a great feel for the game, and at the end of the day, I was a reasonable man. It took me 3 or 4 years to finally realize I didn't fit in with those guys. I've sat on the board of directors with the Regina Rams, Regina Ram alumni, RMF, and I've had opportunities to coach Team Saskatchewan, Team Canada. The year we got married, the week before the big day, I got home after winning the provincial championship with O'Neill, sat there, looked at my wife. I said, I'm done coaching now, honey. Is there anything I can do for the wedding? The day we brought Campbell home from the hospital, I went out and worked a bingo for the Rams that night. You can ask Mueller. Through all this, she stuck by me. Kelly, my wife, believe it or not, I lied to her too. 15 years ago, I told her we're going to build a bold stadium. It's going to take me about 10 years. Well, it's not quite bold, and it's not quite done. Not only has she allowed me to pursue my passion, she has made football a passion of her own. Thank you, honey. I love you. And I'd like to thank everybody else for coming out tonight.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all the inductees to this year's Hall of Fame. What an honor and privilege it is to be part of your success and all the things that we've done as well. I want to thank Mike O'Donnell. As Lenny said, that Mike's been very instrumental in promoting Regina minor football, and I want to thank him for his nomination. And then you have to really thank the selection committee for giving this honor and this recognition to us. October 10th is now an even bigger day in our family. October 10th, 1987, my wife Robin and I got married. We are celebrating our 26th wedding anniversary today. She's had quite a battle over the last 3 years, and it's home recovering from surgery. I'm very proud of her, unbelievably proud of her, and happy to say that she is a breast cancer survivor. October 10th, 1933 was also a special day. Today, my dad is here, and I want to wish my dad, stand up please, Lauren. My dad is 80 years old today. Very instrumental. He and my mom retired and are living out on Vancouver Island for the last 25 years, and Dad made the trip into Regina, especially for tonight's induction dinner, so thank you very much. I think Lenny talked about all the people that have sponsored Regina minor football over the last few years, and the businesses that have sponsored Regina minor football, and the Libel Field project. And I just want to say thank you to all those people and businesses. Thanks for believing in us. Really, without your support and your belief, we really wouldn't have the facility that we have out there. and it means a lot to us, and I hope it means a lot to you guys as well. So thank you to them. Lenny, we also want to talk about past and present board members and volunteers of Regina Minor Football. So there's a group of people here. If you have ever been part of Regina Minor Football or part of Regina Minor Football right now, please stand up, because you guys deserve a whole whack of recognition as well. So stand up, everyone. Come on, minor football people. It's not just the Lenny and Kelly show. There's a lot of people that have worked their butts off over the last 50 years to make Regina Minor Football what it is today, and we're just happy that we can continue to be part of it. That's really the nuts and bolts of it. I really want to thank my wife Robin and my son Lee and daughter Kennedy. When you do volunteer work such as this, you really have to rope your family into situations and opportunities that they really don't have much choice. Helping out in the office or helping out in the equipment room. I know that my kids have contributed countless hours, and in one way it's great for us to spend some quality time together, and other times it's we're dragging them away from something that they'd rather be doing. My daughter Kennedy, who has worked with weigh-ins over the last few, for quite a number of years. At first she was a little disgruntled, and then as she started to get to be the same age as some of the boys coming every night, it was really easy to bring her down. So what it's done for them is it's made them realize what it means to give back. And I think that really means a lot. Something that you can't really offer to kids unless you really show them by doing it, not by telling them. On the outside, Robin thinks football people are all nuts. She's like, what's the fuss about all this football stuff? But I think deep down she really understands both Lenny and I have a passion for this sport and a passion for growing this sport, and she's been unbelievably supportive. My wife's initials are RMH, and she continues to joke that RMF comes before RMH all the time. I have some family members here, a few of my brothers here, my sister's here. I've got some family and friends here as well. For the most part, I have to apologize to them because usually the conversation at family events and everything, RMF is definitely going to come up, and I apologize for bringing it up, but it's going to happen for the next 25 years, so get used to it. And last but not least, I really want to thank Lenny and his family. Lenny's son Campbell is my godson. Very, very proud of that kid. Amy has done some wonderful things, traveled the world. What a great girl she is. But Lenny and I go back about 40 years. As he said, we went to high school together. We have thousands, literally thousands of stories, but one or two are only clean enough to tell tonight. Our lives have paralleled in many ways. We are born 3 days apart, okay? Our moms were in the maternity ward at the Grey Nuns Hospital together. Lenny's mom had so many kids, they ended up opening up her own apartment right in the maternity ward. And my mom ended up having so many kids that we used to rent the apartment from them. We went to school together, we played on the Rams together. We never missed a road trip in 5 years playing with the Rams. We roomed every trip on the road. Lenny was a huge gambler. Loved to take the milk money from Greg Feger. And he did. So we always had free Chinese food every Friday night in the hotel on road trips. Thanks, Lenny, for adding the few extra pounds to my workload. When you really think about it, we've done so many things together. We played hockey together, shinny together, slow pitch together. As he's talked about, we've done contracts with CBC Sports and TSN. We continue to do that today. We've worked more than 18 Grey Cups together with TSN. We've done the Skins golf game. We've done curling. We're both professional firefighters, both for more than 23 years. And while I've got professional firefighters, I want to thank my 4-shift guys for coming out here tonight and supporting me. We've got some members of the union here. I tell you what, firefighting, both Lenny and I, it's the best job in the world. And we wouldn't be able to do the kind of work that we do for minor football without that kind of job. So I'm very thankful. It's, I call it, it's like being a professional athlete again. I just don't know when my games are. But Lenny and I have had quite a friendship, and boy, our work with Regina Minor Football has just lengthened that. As he said, Lenny recruited me. He said it was a figurehead position. It was only 4 or 5 meetings a year. I said after 3 years, we got twice as many teams. We got 12 on, 12 off. We got zoning, you know, all these different bylaws that we put. We're up to our ass in alligators. And he goes, "So, do you hate me yet?" I said, "No, but Robin does." Going back to high school years, I thought it was really weird. Lenny dated all of my old girlfriends. And it just seemed like, you know, if I broke up with a girl next week, Lenny's dating her, you know, and then, you know, however many, like, Lenny's dating her. And then, but the only girl that he dated that I never dated was his wife of today. And guess what her name is? Kelly. Like, isn't that weird, don't you think? He went out, he loved me so much that he went out and married a Kelly. And in fact, Kelly's birthday is 2 days after mine. So all 3 of us are born within 5 days of each other. You can't write like that. But I tell you what, I really want to thank Kelly as well. She's not only here as Lenny's wife, but she's a great friend to me, and she's been an inspiration and a workhorse for Regina Minor Football and a supporter of Regina Minor Football. She's worked as an office manager, she's worked as a board member, but most things she's worked at as a love of football and a supporting wife. She's a true football fan with a great common sense, and she's helped us out immensely along the way. So I hope that when she sees that name Kelly up on that wall of fame, I hope that she feels a bit of that is her. The sport of football has been very good to me and to my family. All I've been trying to do is give back a little. What we've tried to do is provide a league where as many kids as possible can learn and play the game of tackle football. I think it's really unique that Jason Claremont is being inducted at the same time as us. With all due respect to Jason, he's had an unbelievable career. But it would be very easy to organize a league where all of your kids go to the show. So what we've done, I think, over the past is we've allowed for the kids that get to say, I got to play with Jason Claremont, or I got to play with Jordan Cisco, or I got to play with all the guys that made it to the show. Because we're not only trying to provide an opportunity for the good kids to play, but we're trying to provide an opportunity for everybody to play. And I think that's where that's the reason why we've had the kind of success that we've had. So before I say goodnight, one of the traditions that we have now that I've taken over the equipment manager job as well with Regina Minor Football is there's going to be a helmet cleaning bee on November 29th from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock. It's free beer and pizza. I really hope that all of you guys can make it. And Nikki, what's the magic word? It's many hands make light work, baby. Thank you very much, everybody. It's a real honor and a real privilege to be part of this tonight.
Thank you. And our final inductee into the 2013 class of the Regina Sport Hall of Fame is Jason Claremont, an athlete in the sport of football.
Well, here we are. You're nominated. You're going to be inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Tell me how you feel.
I feel good. Yeah, I feel good.
Okay.
It's an absolute honor. I mean, especially with the group that I'm going in with. It's very relevant to my own development. The 2 guys, Kelly Hamilton and Len Antonini, what they did for RMF. RMF was a big part of my development as a person and a football player. And then Dick White was also the athletic director when I was at the U of R. So it's very nice to be in with that group, especially.
We've been kind of talking a lot about, I guess, just how this is the 11th annual and how Saskatchewan, we finally started recognizing more of like our local talent round. How do you feel about that?
No, I mean, it's amazing, and like I said, I'm just honored to be here, and I didn't really know what to expect from the night. We hadn't been to one before, and was very, very impressed by the to-do that they put on, and we're looking forward to the event tonight, and we'll probably be back in the years to come.
You're probably not surprised that you were nominated, or you are surprised a little bit?
I was surprised. I mean, I didn't even know that the hall existed until we took my son to hockey, and up on the wall there in the Cooperative Center, there's these pictures. We stopped and had a look at it, and so it was nice to take him to hockey, see what that is, and then out of the blue got a call from Tom Shepard and said that I'd been nominated and that they were going to be inducting me here on the 10th.
Great. Well, congratulations. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Jason was a product of Usher Collegiate. Played for the Junior Regina Rams and the University of Regina Rams. He was a 2-time conference all-star as a junior and 3 times in university ball. He won 2 Canadian Junior Championships, one in 1997 and again in 1998. He was a record-setting receiver when the Rams switched to university football and was instrumental in leading the team to the 2000 Vanier Cup. He was a first-round draft choice of the CFL's BC Lions in 2002, had 3 1,000-yard receiving seasons, including a career-high 1,220 yards in 2004. He was a member of the BC Lion 2004 Grey Cup winning team. He was a 2-time divisional all-star, the CFL's outstanding rookie in 2002, and was the CFL's outstanding Canadian in 2004, and again in 2007. He was a CFL All-Star in 2007 and made a couple of Grey Cup appearances with the Saskatchewan Roughriders before retiring in 2011. I can tell you that as a reporter, Jason proved himself to be a very foreboding interview. I can tell you that he does not suffer fools lightly. And if you ask a dumb question, you can be prepared to get the patented Jason Claremont scowl. And perhaps nobody knows that more so than Steve Armitage of CBC. It was after BC's loss in the Grey Cup. Jason was the outstanding Canadian in that game. They pulled him back out onto the field of play, and Steve Armitage got right in close, as Steve Armitage would, and said, "Jason, it's got to be a thrill of a lifetime for you to be the outstanding Canadian in the Grey Cup." And Jason looked at him and said, "Well, when I was dreaming about it, I wasn't on the losing team." And it all but ended Steve Armitage's career as the sideline reporter for the CBC. And I also notice that they don't actually present the top Canadian awards on the field of play anymore. They now do it under the stands in the friendly confines of the press box. As a reporter, that kind of made me smile a little bit, and it made me a better reporter, I think, as I like to think I came to the Rider pressers with a pointed question for Jason. Anyway, it is with pleasure and honor that we introduce and induct Jason Claremont into the 2013 Regina Sports Hall of Fame, an athlete in the sport of football.
Boy, those last 2 are a tough act to follow, but I'll try my best. First, I want to thank everybody who's here. Thank the board for nominating me and putting me through and inducting me here tonight. I've never been really gracious in accepting awards, as Chris had mentioned in the one Grey Cup, but I'll kind of explain to you why it's tough for me, especially tonight, to accept this award. So my kids were very concerned of what I was going to win, if I was going to get a trophy. My daughter Riley, the 3-year-old, she really wanted it to be a big stuffed bear. Sweetheart, I'm sorry. It is a plaque. You guys will be able to look at it. You can cuddle it tonight for bedtime if you really want. So back to why it's tough for me to especially accept this induction. I'm up here with a group of people who have helped so many athletes to move through different systems. Dick with the U of R, Marnie with synchronized swimming, and both of the guys here, Kelly and Len, what they've done with minor football. So for me to stand up here, as an athlete on a team sport, a lot different than what Flo did. Every time that Flo put her bowling shoes on and stepped in the lane, she had to sign her own
her own performance. She was totally responsible for, any gutter balls she threw, which she's going to argue that she didn't throw any. But, any gutter balls that she threw and any strikes that she threw, she could take credit and all the blame for it. The magical thing about football is that it's such a game of opportunities, and it's such a diverse group that I've been blessed in having so many great people in my life, friends and family and teammates and opponents, without great opponents, officials, all those people. None of us would be here as football players, so it's tough for me to accept an induction. But my kids, it's Thanksgiving coming up here, and they both go to preschool. So for Thanksgiving, they created some little turkeys, and they had on the turkey's feathers, they had what they're thankful for. And my son, he had on one of his feathers, it said, "I'm thankful for sports." And my daughter, on hers, it said, "I'm thankful for my dance class." And so it kind of speaks volumes to builders and volunteers and families who, put forth the time and the effort to let an athlete like myself excel. All I did was play football. So it's a little bit humbling to be here. So in that theme, I kind of want to talk about what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for, meals that were kept in the microwave so I could warm them up after football practice as an 8 to 12-year-old. I'm thankful for family who put up with not only feeding my stomach, but feeding my ego and, allowing me to grow as a football player. I'm thankful for teammates. I'm very happy to have Chris Briltz is here with me tonight. He's a teammate of mine on University of Regina Rams with the junior Rams. I've got a teammate here from the British Columbia Lions. We spent 7 years together. Jiro Simon. We played a lot of football, but we became really good friends and did a lot outside of football that I'm very thankful for. I've got Mike McCullough's here, Weston Dressler, Scott McHenry, and Rob Bagg, guys who I spent a lot of time on road trips with. And football is that game where you can draw every body type in, and only a few of us are going to have that opportunity to shine and be on the spotlight and stand on a stage and accept an award. I'm thankful for the University of Regina Rams. I'm thankful for the British Columbia Lions. I'm thankful for my friends, my family, my wife, my children, for supporting me all this time. And so I will take the induction, but I will take the induction on behalf of some late 1980s RMF teams. I'll take the induction on behalf of the Usher Unicorns. I will take the induction on behalf of the Regina Rams, the University of Regina Rams, and the BC Lions and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, because football is an ultimate team sport, and I thank you all for the induction. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.